Everybody. Thank you very much for coming to Bolton Museum Aquarium and Archive today. I think some of you may have come specially for this event. Some of you perhaps just came to the museum and found that there's something going on. Well, thank you everybody for taking the time to sit down. I just want to do a really quick introduction. My name is Matthew Constantine. I'm the Senior Manager of Museum and Archive Collections here in Bolton. And I just wanted to introduce this special event day, which is part of our Revealing Histories project. Now, some of you who perhaps regular visitors to the museum may have seen Revealing Histories things going on last year. We were part of a group of museums in the Greater Manchester area who organised various exhibitions, displays and events and activities to help commemorate the 200th anniversary of the abolition of slavery within the British Empire. And Bolton and its cotton industry have a very close history, close related to the slave trade, and that was something that we thought was important to mark. And this event really is perhaps the culmination of all that work, all that effort. It's a special day with various things going on to help us understand a bit more about it, and at the end there will be a chance for people to discuss some of the issues that have been raised during the day. So there are various things going on today, and the first one I believe is the performance. It's going to kick things off. So without further ado, I shall stand to one side and let things happen.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And I know there's quite a few younger members, so boys and girls. I'm delighted to be here in Bolton. My name's Pete Callew, and I'm a poet and a writer. I write books and novels, things like that. And I'm here to host or make sure the flow goes really well with regard to the poetry section of today. Because what we'll have is, you'll have to suffer me first, okay, I'll do a few poems, and then we'll bring on Abby Idole, who will be doing a poem that's based on a slave narrative by a gentleman who lived in Bolton way back, called James Watkins. And I do believe we will also have, if we're lucky, a performance from Sue Andy, another poet, and then we will have a piece of theatre, a very exciting piece of theatre that's going to happen right here for a bit, and then you have to go all the way over to the other side where those stairs are, and I think the other section will happen there. After that, and that passage will take about half an hour to an hour. There'll be a lively debate, which hopefully you can all contribute to, about the history of the slave trade and Bolton's connection with it. I know it's the 200th anniversary of the parliamentary abolition of the trade in enslaved Africans. When I say 200, I think that's a pretty loose number. One thing I've noticed about historians is that, and archaeologists, is that they think in terms of centuries, you know, so the fact that we're about 3 months out is neither here nor there to them, when they can lose 1,000 years before breakfast, you know. So, yeah, we're in 2008. I think the bicentenary was 2007, but it's all good. The poem that I'm going to do for you today is a poem which looks at Greater Manchester and what Greater Manchester has achieved. I know that we're talking about the slave trade and the connections there with it, and that is part of the, I wouldn't say rich tapestry, but certainly interesting tapestry of Greater Manchester's history. And I try to, as a poet, refer to not only the positive aspects of Manchester and Greater Manchester, but also the things that we may be less proud of. But sometimes the tendency in history and in patriotism, in thinking about national identity, to only look at the good things that we've done, you know. And sometimes it's important for our soul and for our development, and perhaps as a nation, as a country, to also have the strength to look at some of the things that maybe we might be less proud of. This poem is an attempt to summarise what Greater Manchester has been about for me. It won a prize. Can I boast? It won a prize. It's quite a tricky poem. Every word, you know, you could go Google research and figure out why it's there. Anyway, Greater Manchester. Fire stokers, bridge builders, ball jugglers, weavers, tunnellers, atom chasers, Guitar thrashers, cyber geeks, sausage sizzlers, they're out there. Peaceniks, heretics, rebels, refugees, carnivalists, miserabilists, swindlers, poisoners, punks, poets, centurions, slave barons, divas, destroyers, rocket scientists, revolutionaries, all lived here. Thank you. You may burst out into spontaneous applause. All right. That's a very sort of fast summary of some of the things that have happened within Manchester. This next poem relates to one of the aspects of the slave trade, in that sugar played quite a big part in the connection, certainly between the Caribbean and Manchester. In fact, of the whole of England. England had a very sweet tooth, and the way in which the sugar was produced was by making the slaves work the sugarcane fields. And so, this poem, it takes the perspective of somebody who has escaped, perhaps like James Watkins, escaped from slavery, and is invited to do something very, very simple, to take some sugar in their tea. And it plays with that idea. So the voice, I've used my uncle's name, Eziami. The voice is that of an African who's escaped from slavery, and he's asked whether he wants sugar in his tea. Do you take sugar? No, I never take it. No Negro ever can. Or you may drop sugar in this steaming cup, but put it to our lips, and all we ever taste is salt. Salt water in the lungs of those who leapt overboard, the shining tracks that trace a line from eye to chin, the salted sea wind we sucked in through tarred, fetid planks in the ships, the salt ooze of skin blistered by the branding iron, if not the cart whip, if not the bullwhip, if not the manacle chafing. It is salt you would gaily place in my cup, only you call it sugar. Thank you. This last poem before I bring Abby on is, do you want an upbeat one, or do you want something more somber? Always ask the audience. I'm going to do something somber. We'll do the upbeat a little later. I was at a museum, actually, one of the great Manchester museums. I think I've visited more museums over the last 3 months than I ever did in my life. And there was a note accompanying a picture of a plantation, sugar plantation, saying that 1/3 of slaves did not live past 4 years, meaning that the work was so hard, backbreaking, cruel, they were treated so mercilessly that they rarely survived beyond 4 years. Well, 1/3 of them died. So I just took that line, you will live for 4 years, and played with it. You will live for 4 years. During this time, your fingers will bleed, then callous over. Your muscles will grow to twice their size. The skin on your back will thicken, welt by welt. Your 2 children will be sold on 3 months from birth. You will run away. Dogs will track you and find you. You will be caught, raped, hauled back, manacled, and flayed. You will die of suffocation following collapse of the lungs. You will be left overnight for 3 nights as a warning to others, until, cut from the post, you'll be thrown into the mangrove swamp, where your body will feed crocodiles. You will live for 4 years. Okay, thank you very much.